breakfast presented by the West Seattle Chamber of Commerce. Thank you everybody for being here. My name is Hamilton Gardiner at the law firm of Holmquist Gardiner, and I'm the chair of the board of directors. Since 1923, the West Seattle Chamber of Commerce has served as the leading business association and community booster of Seattle's West Side. Each year at the annual Westside Awards Breakfast, we celebrate the successful business environment and community involvement on the West Seattle Peninsula. Today, we honor 3 local businesses and 1 individual. Each of these award recipients has demonstrated leadership, success, and innovation that contribute to the thriving economy of West Seattle, and it is thriving. Coming to a decision on the 2015 award recipients was not an easy task. There were more than 110 nominations, setting an all-time record for participation. The nominations came throughout the community and are not simply limited to chamber members. Employees, business owners, community leaders, and the like all submitted very thoughtful nominations. These nominees included so many truly outstanding businesses, nonprofits, and individuals, all inspiring the West Seattle community. The West Seattle Chamber of Commerce is honored with the opportunity to award the 2015 awards today. But before we get to those awards, we'd like to recognize a few guests. First, we'd like to recognize the elected officials in the room. Tom Rasmussen. Bill Bryant. And Joe McDermott. We'd also like to acknowledge the volunteer board for the West Seattle Chamber of Commerce. These wonderful people spend lots of time putting this together. The lead for this event today was Dana with Red 27. Please hold your applause till we're end and through all the board of directors, because there's a lot of them here today. But all board of directors, please wave your hand when I say your name. Shannon with Avalon Glassworks. Michael Bavar, Cornerstone Financial Group. Trish Troop with Elders Care Consulting. Paul Prentice with Prentice Design. Jeannie Floor with Seattle Lutheran High School. Terry Spires, Speed Pro Imaging. Wendy Sloniker with Zal Media. Pat Jablonski, Nucor. Elizabeth with South Seattle College. Nancy Woodland, Westside Baby. Mary Jean Stevens with Port of Seattle. Kyle Freeney with Reese Carney. And Ryan Letson with Jackson Morgan Hunt. Thank you, board of directors. Also, of course, none of this could happen at all without the staff of the chamber. Lynn Dennis, our CEO, is in the back. And Mary Clockley, our finance manager. Thank you both. Also, none of this could happen without our sponsors. Our $5,000 presenting sponsor today is Nucor Steel. $1,000 sponsor and table sponsor, Port of Seattle. Thank you. Another $1,000 sponsor is Salties. And a $500 end table sponsor is the West Seattle and Fauntleroy YMCA. Thank you. We've got a number of other sponsors we'd like to get to as well and acknowledge, but so please hold your applause until the end after these ones as well. The $500 sponsors are Bend and Move, DeVries Carney, Lennar Multifamily Communities, Food Lifeline, Red Dot Corporation, Ventana Construction, and Westside Baby. Thank you. The table sponsors today, and please hold your applause till the end. South Seattle College, President Gary Orett leads here. Southwest Seattle Historical Society, Clay Eels, Saltchuk, and Jackson Morgan Hunt. Thank you all table sponsors. more items before we get to our keynote speaker. The centerpieces that you see on the center of your table in the glass cylinders are filled with floats hand-blown by Avalon Glassworks. These are for sale for $50 each, which includes all 3 of the floats, and half the proceeds go towards supporting your chamber. So if you're interested, there's little cards on the table that look like this. Please fill it in and then put it next to the float that you'd like. And thank you, Avalon Glassworks, for that donation. And also, the new chamber website was just launched, finally. It looks awesome. Thank you all for the work that you put into this. Please do check it out. The ease of editing this website will allow us to keep you updated on all chamber news, the events, and all of the membership events. And today, actually, on the homepage, there's a video of Aline Chan, who will be speaking at our April 16th luncheon about U.S.-China relations and how that impacts the West Seattle business community. And I know Elaine is here, and she wave her hands. Thank you, Elaine. Next, the 2015 Community Resource Guide is in publication. It's on your, the 2014 is on your tables right now, and if you're interested, please let a board member know, because space is limited, and last year we did sell out. How do we know we're going to sell out this year? Well, in the first quarter of 2015 alone, the chamber membership is up 5%, which is amazing. Now, if that wasn't amazing enough, attendance increase in this first quarter is incredible. For 2014, we thought that attendance was way up and that we were doing a really good job. And the first quarter of 2015 has absolutely blown us away. After hours has increased by 15%. And luncheon attendance is up 32%. And of the 3 luncheons we've had, 2 have sold out, and we've had to beg the venues for more room. So as board member Michael Bovar has told me multiple times, the chamber is just on fire right now. So this is outstanding, and thanks is due to all the people in this room for your support and participation. So thank you. Next, I'd like to bring up Jeannie Floor to introduce our keynote.
Well, good morning. It's a pleasure to see all of you here. Thank you again so much for coming. It is a real pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, West Seattleite Mark Tabutt. Mark is the chairman of Saltchuk, a Seattle-based diversified transportation company whose local companies include Foss Maritime, Totem Ocean Trailer Express, Carlisle Transportation, and Interstate Distributor. Mr. Tabutt will speak about the region's commercial and historical ties to Alaska, developments and opportunities in the maritime industry, and the exciting investments his company is making in clean technologies. Mark?
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to be here today. Last night I was at a celebration for the YMCA's annual campaign, and Josh came up to me and asked me what I was going to talk about this morning. And I said I was going to talk about why it's a good thing for us to continue to use oil from Alaska. And he said, Mark, today's April Fool's. You can't do that tomorrow. I wanted to talk about 3 things. Give you a little history about our company, and then second, talk about the relationship between Puget Sound and Alaska, and then finally I'll talk about Terminal 5 and a little bit more about what you can expect there. So before I get started, I do want to let you know that there are now 45 employees on Terminal 5 right next to us. One of them, representing them, one of them is here, Jordan Wave. These are all new West Seattle employees, and the number will continue to grow and grow and grow here quickly over the next couple months. But anyway, let's get started. A quick history of the company, and if we go to the beginning of our company, we were started in 1982, and we were, it was a partnership of local Seattle businessmen, and they ran it as a partnership, and it was a Northwest Pacific Maritime Company. There was no holding company office, but it was Foss Maritime and Total Motion Trailer Express. And then the second chapter that we went into was growing into an investment company, holding company structure. A lot of acquisitions were done to grow the business. And that is when my father-in-law, Mike Garvey, began to transition it from a partnership to a family business. And then the third chapter, which is where we are today, is a new management. My brother-in-law, Tim Engel, and I co-manage the business, and it's owned by our wives and their third sister. So we have two of them here today, West Seattleites for both of them. We live a mile apart from each other here in West Seattle, but my wife, Denise, wave, and Nicole. And so Tim and I report to them and their sister, and always, we tell people we are a single text message away from both job and house. So that's the unique setup we have, but it's fun, it's working, and it's a good, it's great for us to have transitioned to the second generation, and go ahead to the next slide there, and that's, now we're transitioning to the third generation, the cousins, and who all but one grew up here in West Seattle, and the issues that you face as a family business, you know, there are good things and bad things. Everybody here has either been a part of one or has good friends or relatives that are a part of one. But it allows you to challenge yourself and your family to work out problems and try and do better for the company. We reinvest 90% of our earnings back into the company, and that has allowed us to grow. Go ahead, Dina. So this is what we are today. We have 6 business units. We have the air cargo, which operates Alaska and Hawaii. We are the largest cargo airline for both states. We've run out of the business model to find a state that doesn't have a road system that connects the towns. So the second part of the company is Foss. We'll talk a little bit about more about Foss. It's tug and barge, Pacific Rim, U.S. West Coast, Alaska, Hawaii. The third part of the company, our fuel distribution, Alaska and Hawaii. We distribute fuel throughout southeast, out southwest, and then up north. And then our shipping operation, Tote, runs out of Tacoma here to Alaska, and then runs out of Florida to Puerto Rico. Our newest acquisition that we just did last year, Tropical, goes to 23 islands in the Caribbean and the Bahamas, Florida, and then finally Interstate Trucking. That was our venture onto the continental U.S., and that company, actually its largest terminal facility is in Nashville, but it's headquartered out of Tacoma. So a couple of things about our company. Number one, our values. Job safety is the number one priority we have in our company. We have employees that work around heavy machinery and often in harsh weather climates, and we work very hard to make sure that they go home safely to their family. Second, to protecting our people. No, stay here just for a second. We have the strong long-term desire to protect the environment. So a couple examples of that. The tug you see there is the Carolyn Dorothy. It was the first hybrid tug built in the world. We have a couple of them operating in the Port of Los Angeles. That tug can do 6 knots on battery power. And we've got an award from the EPA as one of the most innovative projects when that was brought in. The picture below, that's a picture of our current Alaska vessel. We have 2 of those. They run weekly out of the Port of Tacoma. We are converting those vessels. This is a huge investment for us to burn natural gas. We've partnered with Puget Sound Energy. They're building a liquefaction plant at the Port of Tacoma across the street from our terminal. This project is over $100 million. We will reduce the amount of oil that we consume here in an equivalent amount of taking 38,000 vehicles off the streets of Puget Sound. This is a huge... And we also, right now, are building 2 brand new container ships in San Diego at General Dynamics. They will be on our Puerto Rico run out of Jacksonville, and they will burn natural gas. They are the first container ships in the world to be built to burn natural gas. Their reduction in oil consumption is even larger than what I just referenced it to. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Alaska. First, our presence up there. We've got the state covered, and we've got about 1,500 employees up there. And I'll give you one example of the service that we offer. We have trucks that will go into the Central Valley in California and load up with produce. They have team drivers. They'll go nonstop up I-5 to our port terminal in Tacoma. Our ships are roll-on, roll-off. It's a wheeled operation, not a stacked. And the ship will wait, usually sail just past midnight every Wednesday and Friday night. And these are called super hot stove loads. Those trailers will be brought on to the ship. The ship will sail 65 hours to Port of Anchorage. They're the first loads off. They go straight to Fred Meyer, Walmart, and humidity, temperature controlled. They might get trucked by Carlisle up to Fairbanks. But that's the type of infrastructure that we have and the logistics we have to service our customers up there. And then it may be trucked over to our air cargo facility and then flown out to Bethel or Nome. But the investments that we've made in our equipment and our reliability has definitely had a positive impact on the standard of living of Alaskans. Okay, now let's talk about not our company, but the ties between our region and Alaska. The Seattle Chamber of Commerce just completed this study, Ties That Bind. 113,000 jobs in Puget Sound are tied to the state of Alaska. It's enormous. $6.2 billion of labor earnings are attributed to connections we have to Alaska. If you think about the history of Seattle, starting with the Klondike Gold Rush, and names that are around, the Coleman family was the REI for the Gold Rush, and I think they made more money than the Gold Rushers. But anyway, I mean, think about Camp Orkila, Camp Coleman. These are all assets that we have for our kids today. They came out of people headed up to Alaska. The Trans-Alaska Pipeline was supplied out of the Northwest. I wasn't here. I grew up in Olympia, but in the early 1970s, I am told by people in our company that were here that you could almost walk across Elliott Bay with the barges that were lined up for the massive, see, that was all Crowley. But anyway, for the massive sea lift that went on for years to build the pipeline. And then we've got the off-season fishing fleet that is based both here and then over in Ballard. Obviously the cruise industry, which is selling Alaska, coming out of here. That's huge for this economy. And then the freight corridor, we're just a small part of it. We've got a lot of competitors, but all freight headed to Alaska comes through the Pacific Northwest. And then finally, the oil partnership that we've had with them is significant. I want to talk a little bit about that. So starting in 1973, this country said, hey, we're going to develop the Arctic. And it was in response to OPEC taking action against us. And they passed a law that said we're going to build a pipeline. And it only took them 4 years to build that pipeline. But they also, in doing that, set up native corporations, village and regional corporations that are around today, some of them very successful. $50 billion of taxes have been collected by the state of Alaska on the oil that they've sent either to Puget Sound or California refineries. It's been a wonderful partnership that's gone on for 25 years, but the oil coming out of Alaska is declining, and that's because there hasn't been big additional exploration. But that's being replaced, I'll talk about a little bit later, by some other oil. Okay, so if we go into Terminal 5, first of all, I want to thank the Seattle Port Commission for their strong support for our company and our efforts. And Commissioner Bryant is here. Thank you very much for your leadership. It hasn't been easy on the port, and obviously it sparked quite a debate locally. I want to say a couple things about FOSS specifically and its tie to Alaska. A couple centuries combined between, well, Crowley's our competition, but between the two companies, you've got a couple centuries of experience of supporting Alaska, and within FOSS, we've supported the logging industry, the fishing industry, the mining industry, oil and gas exploration, oil and gas production. Shell is one of many customers, and a couple summers ago, Shell made some pretty big mistakes, and one of the sources of their mistakes was relying heavily on Gulf of Mexico operators. That's not being repeated this year. Crowley and FOSS, who have the talent and the experience, some multi-generational family members that work for these companies, a lot of experience up in Alaska. They are the lead contractors to support this effort coming up this summer. A little story about 2 summers ago when Shell got into trouble. FOSS crewed up, and when the news broke that they had problems with the tow, without being hired, FOSS crewed up, fueled up, and got food on, and sent our largest ocean tugs out to help with the rescue. And they actually didn't formally get hired and know that they're going to get paid until they're halfway across the Gulf of Alaska. But they arrived on scene with Crowley assets and took over. Okay, here's what's coming to your neighborhood pretty soon. This is being brought over from Norway. This is a massive rig, and it'll get a lot of notice. So I'll just say a couple comments about this big debate that's broken out. We all live in West Seattle. You can't live here and not be an environmentalist. The kayaking, the paddleboarding, the boating we get to do, the parks that we have original growth forest. The running, the beaches. If you're here, you are an environmentalist. So the debate can't be on who's a bigger environmentalist than somebody else. But the debate is, okay, let's all do our part to reduce our oil consumption. We're doing huge investing to do that and reduce our carbon footprint. But then the next step is, in the meantime, where are we going to get our oil as we try and decline it? Well, the crude that we've been pulling and using out of the Alaska Arctic, if you have to pick between oil, is actually environmentally the most friendly oil you can get. If you move to the next slide, this is what's a growing replacement of the Arctic oil that we've been using. And the environmental damage being done by fracking relative to what we've done in our partnership with Alaska. For every well, actually Alaska is that little island below, kind of by Hawaii. So Denise and I have lived in West Seattle for 25 years. For 3 years we lived in Anchorage, and Alaskans love to tell you, if you cut Alaska in half, Texas would be the 3rd biggest state. The little dot there on the north end of that little island is Prudhoe Bay, and all of the additional wells have been drilled up there. For every single well drilled in Alaska, it takes 5,000 fracking wells to produce the same amount of oil. And not to mention the carbon footprint being created by moving fracked oil to our refineries. They truck it, sometimes they truck it twice, and then they rail it. North Dakota is still allowing them to flare natural gas as an unwanted byproduct. And there are images of nighttime of the US with the big cities lit up and then an orange glow coming off North Dakota. Alaska, none of that is taking place. All that natural gas being put back in the ground. The Alaska activity is all federal land regulated by the federal government. The states have been in charge, Texas and North Dakota and Colorado, they've been in charge of overseeing the fracking. So anyway, just a couple comments on that. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say, and I want to thank you again for having us come. We've got a couple other folks from Saltchuk at our table, and we're excited about being a bigger part here in West Seattle. So thank you. Woo!
Thank you very much for that address and all the information about Saltchuk.
Mark, we have some for you.
Oh.
We want you to be able to know where you are at all times.
Wow.
So you're ready now.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we'd like to bring up Elizabeth to present the emerging business of the year.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to present the Westside Emerging Business Award today, and it goes to Meeples Games. Opened since May 2014, Meeples Games is a tabletop game store located between the Admiral and Alaska junctions. It has created a space to hang out with extensive games collection that appeals to all levels and ages. Their idea is to serve families with a safe, fun place to play, compete, enjoy each other, meet with friends, drop by after school, and connect with others in the community. From the youngest to the oldest, Meeples is a site for laughing, strategic thinking, competition, and interaction. They are constantly working with the community and creating programs based on the needs of the community. Congratulations to Meeples Games.
Oh, look at that.
I just want to thank everybody. We accomplished what we set out to do, which is to create a third place for the community to hang out and unplug and play games, and games are great for everyone. And I want to thank, I have the best employees and customers and friends and my partner Brian, and thank you so much.
I'm Nancy Woodland. I'm the Executive Director at Westside Baby, and it is my pleasure this morning to be able to present the award for the Not-for-Profit of the Year. This is especially wonderful to be able to present because Clay Eels, their Executive Director, and I talk nonprofit all the time. And so this award is going to the Southwest Seattle Historical Society. And the society has been around since 1984, which is pretty amazing. But you may have heard most about it in the last couple of years, and that is because Clay was hired 2 years ago. And what has happened since Clay has been hired is that West Seattle has entirely become history wonks. Everybody cares about the history of West Seattle now, which is really fantastic. And I say that sort of grain of salt because I am not a history buff, and when Clay starts talking to me about totem poles and museums and things, I go, yeah, that's great. But all of a sudden, he's kind of used to that from me. But I will admit that in the last year, I have become completely wrapped up in totem poles and so excited about the Admiral Theater and all the things that are happening around West Seattle. I think at this time, we're so into digital things and we move so fast that we forget that there's history. And when we have a community like West Seattle that has so many transplants and so many new employees moving and so many people that are coming into the community, you need the Southwest Seattle Historical Society to make it all matter to all of us. Because history connects. When we are connected, then we care, and when we care, then our community is taken care of. And the Southwest Seattle Historical Society has been doing that. So I'd like to present the award to Clay Eels. Please come up, Clay.
This thing's heavy. Can I set it down? Yeah.
You have to gesture with it.
Yeah. Well, Nancy said it all. Nancy, we're going to hire you. Thank you so much. I'm proud to have Nancy as a friend and a champion. And I thank all of you for this award. The best recognition comes from your own home, and home is what we are all about at the Southwest Seattle Historical Society. As Nancy said, we have been around 31 years since 1984, and our mission is clear. It's to promote local history through education, preservation, and advocacy. And it's a mission that is a part of the lifeblood of every single one of you in this room. Just take a moment to think, why is it you're here? And I'm not talking about here this morning, I'm talking about here living, doing business, and connected to others here in West Seattle. And every one of your answers to that question has a common thread, and it's that we all love this place. And if you love where you live, then the Historical Society is the one for you, because that's how you get to find out how this place got to be so darn lovable. And the more you learn, the more deeply you and your kids and your grandkids are connected, and those connections inspire others. It's all about passion and wearing it on your sleeve. And with that passion and with your help, we have accomplished some remarkable things in the last year or so. As Nancy alluded to, we restored and unveiled the Admiral Totem Pole at our museum before our largest crowd ever, 1,300 people. That included more than 24 dignitaries and 900 school children. We are putting on tours of dazzling historical homes, including one coming up this June at the home just up the hill of the founder of the Ye Olde Curiosity Shop. We've created exhibits and monthly author series and tours for kids and seniors. We've celebrated the West Seattle Bridge. We've showcased local heroes, Lou Whitaker and Art Wolf. We've published a cookbook, and we have put on a gala in this very room that is breaking attendance and fundraising records every single year. Now, to do all of this, we stand on the shoulders of giants. and many of them are right here among us. I first wish to mention our founder, a community visionary, Elliot Cowden. He has been gone for 10 years, but oh, would he love to be here this morning to share this honor with you. And then I want to move to our table. We have 3 from our board of directors. Carrie Korsgaard, Vice President Tia Hallberg could not be here at the last minute, and President Marcy Johnson, along with our interim museum manager, Lissa Kramer. We also have a major supporter and businessman in West Seattle for a quarter century, the owner of Luna Park Cafe, Mr. John Bennett. We have a member of our gala committee who is heading up our exciting Alaska Totem Cruise this September, representing AAA Travel, Liz Day. And there's a couple at our table without whom we would simply grind to a halt. And that's obviously IT headquarters, represented by Rob and Patricia Shiras. And elsewhere, the list goes on. Elsewhere in this room, we have Nucor Steel, whom you're going to be hearing from, and Jackson Morgan Hunt, and Salties on Alki, and another board member, former board member, the owner of West 5, and a 3-term former chamber president, Dave Montour. We have Fabrice Carney. We have the 2 elected who were announced from West Seattle. Tom Rasmussen and Joe McDermott are on our advisory council. We have the Blog and the Herald and other chamber members who could not be here today. Our board treasurer, Ron Arendt, electrician Rich Barrientos. I mean, it could go on forever. And it also includes your own CEO, the ace of this organization, Lynn Dennis. And finally, there are 2 special guests we want you to welcome this morning. They represent 2 business entities that have been prominent in the news, good news, lately. They are bringing commercial viability to West Seattle, and they exemplify how landmark status can foster new life for beloved buildings in our very own neighborhood. First, representing the Movie House, whose roots go back nearly a century to 1919, the location of countless first dates and first kisses, the place for which we led the successful Landmark campaign 26 years ago in 1989, and whose marquee proclaims, "Here we grow," with new screens, new seats, digital projection, and much more in store over the coming year, is the creative and energetic manager of the Admiral Theater, Dinah Bryant. And representing an irreplaceable log building constructed 111 years ago in 1904, originally known as Fur Lodge, later became the Seattle Auto and Driving Club, the place for which we secured city landmark status 20 years ago, the mothership of our Log House Museum, everyone's favorite restaurant for family-style chicken dinners, just a stone's throw from the birthplace of Seattle and next to the most beautiful beach anywhere, is the brand new owner and restorer of the Alki Homestead, Dennis Schilling. You know, there's no surprise to you that the theme of our gala this fall is coming home to the homestead. So, on behalf of all of these people and many more, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. There is no question that it all takes a village. I'm so proud myself to be living and working in this village, our home of West Seattle. Thank you.
The next award recipient is the Westside Business of the Year. Nucor Steel has owned and operated its Youngstown neighborhood plant since 2002. As the Northwest's largest metal recycler, Nucor is able to transform 120 tons of scrap and iron into liquid steel in the same time it takes to bake a cake. 95% of that is actually recycled scrap metal. Nucor prioritizes safety above all and promotes a culture that empowers its workforce to constantly improve business processes. Nucor serves as a gatekeeper to West Seattle and a community pillar, offering tours and allowing its more than 325 teammates opportunities to volunteer for and support local organizations. Nucor contributes to many local organizations that form the foundation of West Seattle. It's telling of the impact that a business can have on its community when an individual who worked for the company for 25 years submitted a nomination. Just a couple quotes from that nomination. I've worked for the mill for 25 plus years and I've seen them do a lot of good in my community. Nucor has a vested interest in keeping West Seattle a desirable place to live and work that goes way beyond monetary rewards. I'm lucky to be able to commute round trip every day, less than 10 miles, and to work for such a conscientious company. Nucor Steel, Westside Business of the Year.
Thank you very much. My name is Matt Lyons, and I'm honored to be up here accepting this award from the Chamber for the entire team at Nucor Seattle. Our facility has been in the current location and producing steel for 110 years, so we feel we're kind of an icon of the community and hopefully a good neighbor. You know, our intention is to be good neighbors, and many of us in the facility, surprisingly, have had family members working in the facility over that entire time period. I'm one of them. My grandfather started there in 1927. So we're honored to be able to accept this award, and we're honored to be able to give them the opportunity to continue to be good neighbors in the West Seattle community. So thank you very much.
To introduce the Westsider of the Year, Josh Sutton.
I just want to tell everybody from Jackson Morgan Hunt and the YMCA and Jim's family that we're supposed to all stay afterwards and get a group of photos, so don't all scatter. I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I nominated Jim for this award. And I'm going to start with a couple of the nicer words that people use to describe Jim. Tenacious, a leader, a visionary, an experienced business counselor, and dedicated. Jim's dedicated to his family, he's dedicated to the businesses he's worked with, and I can tell you from my experience, he's been dedicated to our community and to the YMCA. And through his time in the YMCA, he's really set us on a path where we're now expanding and growing more than ever. Jim is very committed to the school programs and the differences we make for kids in the community, and also he challenges me to do a great job every day for our community. So I want to welcome Jim up here and thank you for all that you do, Jim.
I'll drop that if I carry it around. First of all, let me, I have a few thank yous here, and I'll try to be as brief as possible, but I want to thank the Chamber for this award. It came as a big surprise, and I think it was Josh Sutton that had a lot to do with it, and I've worked with Josh for the last 20 years at the YMCA, great organization, great leadership, he's a great executive director. And I really want to thank the Chamber, and I want to thank my friend Josh Sutton for acknowledging all of this. Also here, and I want to thank Pat Fahey from First Sound Bank. He's here with Phyllis Nomura. Phyllis is going to be serving Westside Baby next year, as some of you may know. I've been associated with First Sound Bank for about 10 years. Started out as a director, now still a shareholder. And Pat's done a great job at the bank, and so I want to throw a little plug in here. If you if you need community banking services, that's a great place for you. And, you know, last, I want to thank the folks at Jackson, Morgan, and Hunt, and in particular, my partners, Scott Hunt and Chuck Morgan. We've built a fine firm, we've got great employees, and I want to thank the hundreds of clients that we have, that we serve through the years. They make it all possible. We just really enjoy serving our clients. So thanks, Chuck. Thanks, Scott, for building a great organization with me. And I'll leave you with just one thing. When I was a little guy, I'm still a little guy, but when I was a real little guy, about the age of my grandson, Bowman, I asked my grandfather, I said, well, you know, where do you go every day and what do you do? And he said, well, he says, I serve people, and I serve families, and I serve businesses, and I help them with their dreams and their aspirations. And it kind of stuck. So thank you again. Thank the Chamber. I appreciate it. They're growing, vibrant organization, and we'll look forward to seeing you. Take care.
Can we have just one more big round of applause for all the award recipients? Before everybody takes off, we have a few door prizes and some closing remarks from Lynn and Dennis.
Okay, so my name is Dana Peralt. I am the owner of Red 27 Engraving, and we will be doing some raffles now, the part everybody loves. Our first gift is a game night from Meeples Games. It's a $50 a game night for 4 adults, including a $50 gift certificate to spend on food and beverages.
So there we go.
All right. Number 529715. Or 6. Or
6?
529715. And
714.
how about 529858?
Yes.
Our next prize is a gift card to Meeples Games. 529890. 529890 in the back. This next gift is a personalized tour of Nucor Steel from our very own Pat Jablonski. He knows all the back corners and places to hide, I think. 529777. 529777. Going once? Our next gift is another personalized tour, this time of the Log House Museum with clay eagles. 529777. 760. Next, we have this.
Except it's right now.
The trouble is, Jerry needs to give me the tour. It's the other way around.
Our next gift is this wonderful cookbook from the Southwest Seattle's Historical Society. Bunch of lovely recipes. 529-887. Our next gift, and I believe our last, is really to help after this lovely breakfast that Salty's provided with a nice ready-to-work-out pack from the YMCA. We have some water bottles, a couple of a shirt, a log, so you know how many sit-ups and laps in the pool you've done. I did mine this morning. 529-823. Before Lynn wraps up, I just want to make one more announcement. The centerpieces provided by the lovely Shannon and John from Avalon Glassworks are for sale. They are $50 a piece for the whole piece presentation that you see there, and half of the funding for that goes straight to the Chamber of Commerce. So please consider filling out a ticket and taking one of those home. Thank you.
On behalf of the Chamber, the Board of Directors, and my staff, I just want to tell you how much we appreciate you joining us this morning to celebrate the best of West Seattle. Let's give everybody a hand. Mark, thank you for being with us and sharing.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great day.
What's up? Emon. I met your other guy. Kelly. Yep. Nice guy. Yeah. Project. Sounds exciting. Yeah, it's coming along. It's a bit of a bear, but it's awesome. We're getting through it. I think we're okay, yeah, no, definitely. So you're over here our partners in a law firm downtown. Okay. Almost exclusively real estate business. Okay. Very interested in development projects. You guys have legal counsel, but it's nice to make contacts. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll grab lunch or something one of these days. Yeah. I'll try to get your Kelly and get you involved pretty good. Okay, perfect. Come on, Gary.
Can you get far enough back?
Excellent. right, here we go. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. Ready? Yeah, stand in front of me. I'm good.
We're bound to get a good photo, right?
Excellent. There we go. More.
All right. Next, we do just the bridesmaids. Okay. Good. Time to watch my partner.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice job. Thank you, David. Thank you. You know I signed on to you as well? Probably get a photo with you. Hey, Jim. Well, yeah, I'm happy for you. John Bennett.
Right at the top. This is my son. There seems to be an array here, so this is the quickest it's ever been yet. Everything here is so old. How are you guys doing? Well, we had to get up really early for this thing, so yeah. Tell me about it. And the cat was like, "What's up? Let's just go back to bed." Yeah. It's time for sleep.
We actually, every Friday, we are out playing. We have a tour that's open today. And Matt Jabrowski is on the table board. He and his team lead the tour. So we have to have together. Whenever you have an open Friday, just call in ahead of time and get on the list. I've worked there almost 30 years. My father did, my grandfather, and it still amazes me every day. So it's pretty neat to see.
We're not going to click on the pictures.
Yes. We actually, on here, we cover California to the Canadian border, across. East to Manitoba, Alaska, Hawaii, so we have a huge market area. In that market, I mean, they're going back to companies like us, China, Korea, South America, Europe, so yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah. Actually, the vast majority of the product produced in Seattle is concrete reinforcement, and so a lot of our customers buy the product and then they share it in places like in the buildings in the South Lake area. A lot of times long-term we make short shifts, and then usually we'll go to a distribution center. Maybe someone is wanting to put a beam in to reinforce the floor in their house. Those distribution centers buy it. It goes, we have, our facility here is actually kind of small compared to our sister divisions. We have sister divisions that make sheet metal cars, appliances. So
Hi, Dave.
Don't worry, I'll tell you one. About the story about both in terms
But it's going to be less than it was at
right. Looking for the mixture of industrial activity and residential. There's an issue that it's funny. Is there an issue that would bring up?
No, it's the total.
Here, their neighbors aren't, so they're unhappy about it. It's funny that they're passed because I haven't found that person yet to go for it. It's
They passed by over some.
yeah, I know. They volunteer
That's going to be a big battle in every district.
Yeah, I think so. It's how does this make sense? That they do not buy the ethos that we're going to de-emphasize cars because they understand, especially absent of people like this. Your guess is as good as mine. 10 years away. And even the merchants down the line. You think they would like all these years capital customers? You wouldn't know it. Not a long time customers. I really not been a person yet who said, hey, we need to develop these or right.
What about the concept? What about the concept that what would happen if the city, like at the edge of commercial districts, they develop like Main Street public park, the edge walking.
No, I mean we could demo these buildings. I'm afraid they might be, whatever. I mean, what would have been wrong with adding that reason?
Yeah.
Why would that have been a bad idea?
Yeah.
The city does. Creates
That's interesting. This is what I was so excited about. You guys outdoor walking the coast.
which is what we want.
Yeah.
It's way more fun. And some people, it's interesting. Pictures between friends. The Republicans tend to yeah, a little bit. But these are based upon walking
You're doing 4x4 going? Oh, okay.
I've got the time.
Oh, okay.
So I hope to walk. I have a fairly broad list, so I want to walk this and then if I get to run off, and maybe get the trees in if possible.
Okay.
So and my fundraising seems to be fine, but I've been in a lot of the buzz seems to be very positive. What I'm most encouraged by is that getting to a runoff, candidates always
Who's that? Okay, we didn't invite them.
Certified. Google the name and have fun. Anthony was Senate last year in Oregon's Tea Party.
That's right.
Oh yeah. Concept of electing
Right, we're able to say hi to Mark. Let me know, I'm going to be out next week, so I don't know if there's anything you need from me before I go, but I'll be back on Okay, we are. We're headed to Florida this year for spring break. So we're doing Orlando, Thanks.
But actually, I was at that's what a ship does. It's one ship. Oh yeah, I actually although frankly the last few times that he's been fine. Well, and he's just the problem with him. Right. So I was well, they asked him if why you just said that. He's just like, well, and I think that because they've already put in like how did you listen? Yeah, that's true.
Well, I'm gonna scoot. Keep me posted. I wanna be a part of this conversation because that's definitely hopefully from an industry advocacy side of things. Get those notes and kind of refine it a little bit.
Really talking. You guys are all gonna be
Yeah, that's the good. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, and actually, I think she's running for city council, and she's joining this. It took a while to get somewhere, but I think it was amazing. That's one of the things I think was amazing. I think it's very clear what it is. That's actually. I know.
You guys. Back in December, one of my best friends. So he's kind of keeping me in the loop too as well. We're going to have hopefully it's going to be one of our groups. I think he's
we'll probably get an extra release this year. But,
Everything's exciting. I'm going to be back in DC. And then Seattle's going to be great. Big thing here. Cool. Thanks. Yes, thanks for talking.
I think that kind of thing seems to happen. And some right people come out. That's
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
So much.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Yeah, I'll see you at the office.
Oh, we got it. Just keeps going. I appreciate it.
but I'll shoot you the, we're trying to educate you about marriage. Those are the two. Those are the newest Ballard.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Don't tell me that.
It's a nice people. It's very even when they're so you take care, and maybe I'll see you next Thursday. Thank you for sending me that invitation. Yeah, and I might try to reach Michelle. I don't know when I'm going up to my cabin, so but I always go through Mount Vernon, but so Michelle's place I guess is up that road. So I might be able to stop and see Michelle and say, speak to Michelle.
Yeah, you gotta track her down. She's a elusive.
I've got 7 trays to each of your 5, so I've got 35 trays. So there.
You know, I know what it is. You guys are we jealous? Vicariously. You're right. Well, especially me, I'm married. John, he just no way.
I think it's just another, yeah, so we have no history. Well, 1904, that's not yeah. 1600s and it's original.
You gotta be this big fro. Gotta be this big fro. Turn around.
Can I come back? Yeah, we're actually. Yeah.